AMD is adding its fluid motion frames technology to any DirectX 11 and 12 game as long as you have the latest Radeon GPU. This new frame generation technology can boost frame rate on most PC games. Let's look into this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So this information is a courtesy of The Verge, and as always you will find the link to this article in the description of this video below. So AMD is adding its own frame generation technology to any DirectX 11 or 12 game to boost frame rates for its Radeon RX 6000, RX 7000 and RX 700M GPUs. AMD Fluid Motion Frames, AFMF for short, is now available as part of the company's latest Adrenaline GPU driver, which also includes support for any AMD video upscaling technology. AMD says Fluid Motion Frames can boost FPS by up to 97% in some DirectX 11 or 12 games at 1080p resolution, with the company's Fidelity FX Super Resolution 2 FSR2 for short enabled. The performance bump at 1440p is up to 103% average in select titles. AMD has tested this all on the company's latest RX 7600 XT GPU, which it claims is ready to take on 1440p. Much like Nvidia's DLSS 3, Fluid Motion Frames may introduce additional latency to the games, warns AMD. So it's probably not something you want to enable in competitive shooters, although you can also enable AMD's Radeon anti-lag feature to help reduce the additional in-game latency. You will also need to play games full screen with VSync disabled to get Fluid Motion Frames working. AMD has an overlay to let you know the status of Fluid Motion Frames, and the feature can be toggled on or off with the Alt plus Shift plus G combo. Fluid Motion Frames shouldn't be confused with AMD's Fidelity FX Super Resolution 3, FSR3, the latest version of FSR, which adds frame generation technology to games where developers enable the support. FSR3 also works on Nvidia GPUs, unlike Fluid Motion Frames, but many games don't currently support it yet. Forspoken, Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 are a few of just a handful of games that support FSR3. We'll need to see additional testing from reviewers to see how Fluid Motion Frames affect image quality, particularly in comparison to FSR3. AMD's latest GPU driver also includes video upscaling to improve the image quality of web videos, similar to Nvidia's RTX Video Super Resolution. It supports most DirectX 11 applications and web browsers like Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome. You may need to enable Media Foundation for Clear inside Chrome, yara yara yara. They go into how to do it. You can adjust the level of sharpness through a slider in the graphics tab of AMD's app, and that's the article. Okay, so this is a very interesting technology. Really, obviously, I'm talking about the Fluid Motion Frames, because you know both DLSS 3 and FSR 3, these technologies adds frames, but that technology requires developers input, right? So developers have to implement that technology in their games, in game engines, right? While AMD's Fluid Motion Frames just works out of the box, right? So I'm sure it's not as good in frame generation and probably image quality as FSR3, not to mention DLSS 3 probably, but the fact alone that it just works, as some people say it, right, that's a big plus to me, right? Because obviously you still have to own AMD cards. Well, I own NVIDIA cards, so I can't really test it. So as per the article, we still need to wait for some additional testing and stuff. But I would love this technology to be implemented in consoles too, because at the end of the day, there's so many games that would probably take advantage of it. Maybe even some older titles. I mean, there's a plethora of games locked to some lower frame rate. But on the other side, I wonder, because this new technology must be, well, using at least similar technologies, at least to FSR 3. Yeah, it's AMD. Consoles have been obviously using AMD GPUs. I'm not sure, obviously, I don't think this could be implemented for Xbox One or Xbox One X, but how about running an Xbox One game on Xbox Series X using that fluid motion frames, right? Now, we all know that FSR 3 is coming to consoles. I don't think we haven't seen any game using it out there just yet. I've just heard a couple of developers confirming that they are working on games like that. Yeah, that technology sounds interesting. But hey, everything looks great on paper, right? But you know, once you start testing it, that's where, you know, potential flaws of the technology may manifest, and you never know, right? So I guess, like, hey, we have to wait for the testing, for more data, more games being tested and that kind of stuff. So I'm very curious how that works. I'm curious of, well, performance. I believe that performance is like that, right? I mean, because, you know, I guess you can grab some games here and there, and I'm sure you can force them to run like that. But I wonder how that impacts the image quality, right? Because you don't really want to have too many artifacts on the screen and that kind of stuff. They also mentioned the fact that this technology potentially is not the greatest for the fast-paced shooters, right? So that sounds like it's not for every single game out there, right? Also, that because it introduces the lag. Also, it you know, let me go back to my older video where I was talking about FSR 3, which kind of does the same, but you know, it's not automatic. But in that particular case of FSR 3, AMD recommends using FSR 3 for games that already hits 60 frames per second or close, right? So it's not like you can make a 30 frames per second game 60 out of the box. I mean, I guess you can force it, but you know, I wonder what the input lag is going to be like, right? I mean, that it just may not, you may get the frames, but the experience overall may not be the greatest, right? So anyway, that's a new technology, and as always with new technologies, it requires more testing. I'm sure AMD will keep on working on it and improving it, that's for sure. So we'll see where that goes. But as for now, that's it for the video. Like I said, link to the article is in the description below. I'll try to get as much information on how that technology actually works. Obviously, it's available only for PC with AMD latest GPUs. Yeah, why not? Maybe they could implement it in the consoles too, even though it's RDNA 2 GPUs. Who knows? We'll see. So anyway, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.